Hey, this is Alex Albran. Have you ever had a financially successful, rich, or wealthy person tell you money doesn't matter, finances don't matter, and they're not necessarily wrong for the season they're in life, but you might be in a different season, and that's what this video is about, and how balance is real. And especially if you're starting a business, you're going to tell that person that's already rich and successful, well, right now, money might be my most important thing I'm thinking about. It might be the top of my priority list because I lack it. But when you're starting a business, especially, you have to understand that you're going to go through seasons in life in terms of balancing all these different priorities. When you're starting a business, you can't necessarily have perfect balance. You don't have a lot of money, you don't have a lot of relationships, so you hire yourself and you pay yourself nothing. And you're using your time to build relationships. You're using your time, make money, to get clients, to make things happen. But that's your time, and that time is being taken away from maybe your health. Maybe you don't eat as healthy. Maybe you don't go to the gym as much. Maybe you even lack in certain other areas. And again, I don't want you to feel like, oh, well, I don't want to do that. I'm sharing my journey and how I was on track with my family, with my now wife about, hey, this is the season I'm in. I'm still building my business. I'm still figuring things out. So I'm not going to be as available to go on vacations, time-wise and financially. Whereas now, after I went through that short-term extreme discomfort where my balance was way out of whack and my time was not invested in a balanced way, now we have the economics, we have the freedom now, and God willing, for a very long time, to do the vacations, to give the money, to have as much balance in all areas as possible. But here's the thing. You don't always need to be in that unbalanced state, focusing on money and finances. That's the other side of the coin where people are unbalanced, right? They just focus on business and making money and buying things. And then they get financially successful, but it's not enough, right? They don't feel good enough. So they continue sacrificing their health, maybe even working more, making more money, spending more money on things that don't matter, neglecting relationships, neglecting their faith, neglecting their friends, neglecting all these other areas in their life that they want to focus on, ideally, but they just are so focused on the money and the business and the ego and the success financially, not success in these other areas. So those are the people that over time they get divorced, unfortunately. They don't have a great relationship with their kids and their health is a mess and they don't have any friends anymore. Those are usually the ones that look back and think, wow, I effed up, right? I made a mistake. I should have been, building business finances. Then once you got to a certain level, not that you totally step back from that, but you say, okay, now I have the money to hire a personal trainer. I can get healthy meals delivered to my house. I can go on more vacations. Like, they never found that balance and they constantly were in building mode. And again, that's the other side of the coin where they focus too much on the money and the worldly things and the business. Whereas ideally, my journey has been where you have that short-term discomfort. But anybody that goes to church, we all hear about the seasons of life. And maybe different people are here for one season and they're not for the other, and vice versa. So this is also about your time and your energy and your focus. That's your most valuable asset at the end of the day. The balance of all of these very important factors perfectly, that perfect alignment, it's almost impossible. You want to balance all these different things as much as possible, but you can't be scared if you're starting to grow your business. You cannot be scared and say, oh, well, I just don't have the time because I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I have all these other things going on. That's a priority. You need to say, hey, well, right now I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the experience. I don't have the relationships where over time that can help you continue to grow the business and your finances and your income with less time. So when you're starting out, you cannot be afraid of the hustle. I'm a fan of the hustle culture, but over time, you want to become more strategic, more efficient, as you have more resources. Relationships are a resource, experience, knowledge. You can do things bigger, faster, better with, a touch of your, finger. Whereas back in the day when you started, it would take so much grinding and pushing to make the same thing happen, or even less than that happen. So I want you guys to think about, especially for you guys grinding or starting the business, you have to accept that, hey, it's going to be short-term discomfort and a lack of balance. But if I do that, I can gain you, your family, your relationship, long-term freedom, not just financial, but time, spirituality, relationships, health. You can gather all the long-term freedom. Most people statistically don't achieve that long-term freedom because they don't make this short-term sacrifice. It's never the right time. They want to wait. It's not convenient. It's not comfortable. But you have to be willing to say, we're not going to go on vacation for 2 years. We're not going to do this. I'm going to get a cheaper car. Like, I need to invest my whatever money or whatever time and energy I have into this business. I need to make this grow. And again, maybe in 5 years, that's about your health. You need to get the personal trainer. You need to get the blood work and the IVs and the supplements and all that good stuff, right? It's not all about business and making money, but this channel is for entrepreneurs. So I'm sure if you're watching this, you want to build your business or take it to the next level. So just know that you're not going to do it when everything is perfectly aligned and balanced and super comfortable. That's when they plateau in business. They get started, they have a little bit of success, but then they stop growing or stop trying to push. And you've heard that saying before, where you have older people, they maybe have money, they've built up wealth over time, and they have time on their hands, but they don't have energy. And when you're younger, you have time, you have energy, you have passion, you don't have a lot of money. I want you to take this video and really think about where you're at right now. Maybe you've been focusing a lot on the business and the money and you've gotten to a certain point of success. Maybe your relationships, you need to make some more deposits in that bank. You've been making maybe withdrawals, or maybe in the health bank, you need to make some deposits in terms of how you eat, your supplements, your sleep. When I was starting my business, I was eating Pollo Tropical. I was, eating the cheapest eggs, white rice, and that was my nutrition. I didn't want to focus my time and money on that. I was still eating healthy. I didn't let it go by the wayside, but I wasn't doing what I'm doing now. So you have to focus on the balance. Don't be afraid of that discomfort that you will feel. Again, you're starting something new, a business, you don't have the knowledge, the experience, the relationships. Embrace it. Say, hey, this is a fresh start. I get to start this business. I feel led to do it, but and maybe you need to communicate with your spouse or partner, communicate that with them so they don't get mad when you're like, hey, we don't have the funds, or I don't have the time for a vacation this year. I don't have time to do this or that. You need to communicate that effectively because they want to support you, but you just need to let them know what you're building, and of course that it's going to be for that long-term growth, the long-term freedom for you and your family. So thanks for watching this video. I appreciate the support. Have a blessed day.